グリザイアの果実。
Bonjour watcher, this is Johnny Mega 45 and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Yes, we play more. Why? Because it was getting excited. I want to see what's going to happen on the next day, please. I want to see now. I should stop playing. See what time now.
全然ノープロブレムじゃないよ。忘れてるかもしれないけど、和樹だって怪我人なんだよ。分かってる。何をどう分かってるっていうのさ。やっぱり今からでも部長に行って考え直してもらおうよ。
No point.
こんなの間違ってるって和樹が文句を言えば絶対なんとかなるし、言うだけ言ってみようよ。
いやあね、あなたの口ぶりではまるで私が何にでも噛みつくどこかのヒステリー女みたいじゃない。私だって世の中すべての間違いに文句をつけるわけではないのよ。
そうかな。
Please, Amane, understand the situation. You don't be a stupid now. Recently, I kind of had this image of Kazuki waving a battlefield in prison with the words, "We must correct the world" on surveying the battlefield. Then Chaji fought at the head of the vanguard, all Janet the Arc styles, leading a glorious crusade across the mistaken reader modern age.
私ほど間違いに寛大な女はいないわよ。考えてもごらんなさいな。私が坂下部長に、あなたなぜ生まれてきたのと質問しているところを見たことがある？
ないけど。ちょっと待って。今なんかさらっとものすごいこと言わなかった？
That kind of sounded like an indirect way of implying that girl should never be born to me.
慈悲深くも寛大な私の資料を理解できたのなら、さっさとテントに戻りましょう。そろそろ眠くなってきたわ。
和樹ってさ、そういうとこマイペースだよね。
It was already past 9. I looked out through the trees to the sky, and there sat for the bright moon and twinkle star. The helicopter we see for a few days brief on the second day. I've been absent ever since. I strained my ears, but hear only the cheaper bus. No cars running on the roads above. Nothing. Why has anyone noticed there was a group of girls right downstairs suffering so much? I was seized by the meaningless desire to scream for help. I don't know, but I knew I was going to be making my throat hoarse. That late summer night, only the low sound voices of insects echoing through the rocky valley. Yes, the 8th day. The 8th day. The 8th day in the valley. Rain fell in the night, and the morning was cold. My chilled hand trembled slightly as I wrote. Come to tell me, was there a point to keeping this writing in the first place? Think about it, it will always drain me will off to write, but I never found an excuse to create either my pen move mechanically across the page. Fortunately, later I stopped before the morning's master, but as I become used to being drawn out of bed at the same time every morning, as I woke out as naturally 15 minutes before 6. For the first few days, it had been difficult to sleep at night because of my hunger, but by now I was sleepy like a stone and fasting at night. Actually, seems to make wake up in the morning easier. As I getting out of bed once awake was growing increasingly difficult. I had no choice but to spend 15 minutes in bed, waiting for my vibration to rise until I could stay without instantly become lightheaded. This morning, Professor Kazami goes on a special procedure as usual. The valuable shouting good damn it. Since we made out of the way examination line, many of the girls were swaying unsteadily on their feet, their bodies still not fully awake.
おはよう、いぶきさん。今朝の体調はどうかしら？
まあ、ぼちぼちです。
疲れた顔をしているわね。私たちがここへ来て今日で何日目だったかしら？
8日目？
そう、8日目。今朝は寒いわね。昨日と比べてどっちが寒い？
昨日はそんなに寒くなかったと思うけど、むしろ暑かったぐらいで。
ええ、そうね。お母様はお元気？今年でおいくつになられたのかしら？
何急に？
いいから教えてくださらない？
母は、多分元気。今年って42歳。
この子の名前は
Kazuki grabbed my hands and pulled me over.
あまね。
名字を教えてくれる？スオーよ。だいぶ疲れが溜まっているみたいね。無理もないわ。私たちがここへ来て今日で何日目だったかしら？考えるのが面倒になった？でも考えて、今日は何日目？4
本音。
あらびっくり。ウェルニッケ脳症かしら。
It's funny, right? Kazuki leans over and softly whispers into my ear.
今から言うことをメモして。
I did put my pen to the memo pad. Chronic reckless and cerebral day. Signs of severe memory loss. Seriously, vitamin B1 deficiency. We knew it was a vitamin B3. We knew it had grown serious, but that diagnosis wasn't much good to you. We didn't have any nails, and more importantly, we didn't have any dietary supplements to fill them with. Of course, the regimens with lots of pork, liver and milk could have done the job just as well, but we didn't have enough food to satisfy even our basic calorie requirements. The only thing we could do for Ibuki was give an encouraged tap on the shoulder.
耐えろ。
And expect the whole silence will follow her through. None of this was limited to Ibuki's either. The vegetable groups began to suffer from vitamin deficiency, like fever, joint pains, and shortness of breath with widespread. After our standard round inspection came to an end, everyone dragged themselves right back to their tents. The morning was unpleasantly cold, and the preservative sense of physical exhaustion didn't help either. Nobody wanted to wander off into the humid forest where the cloud chilly for hunting as clouded. By the time dawn rolled out, the temperature rose dramatically, and people began to crawl out their stuffing in search of cold air. One other thing we needed to dry our sleeping bag and pants in the sun as it grew damp for the humid night and our sweat. Like the other day, I pulled out the bag out of the tents. Naturally, I took Kazuki's as well. I began to beat the sleeping bag with 3 bunches and that means flying out of the clouds in fact. My stomach grows miserably at the exercise. Just as I really got yesterday, she began to add much of her rations to Ayuka's. Of course, this was being kept secret from Mikasa itself. And this is Kazuki who lunch long. When I thought I was worried, she laughed on my words with some chilly but stubbed itself and made particular leisure use of their toothpick. Then added that a leader doesn't need to eat, they just need to act like they're eating. The words had given me a bit out of start. It was certain true that everyone was lying on Kazuki, but I was surprised if she come to think of herself as a leader. All of a sudden, I heard someone shouting in a clear, angry tone of voice, and my hands started moving center. Don't tell me, the stupid captain! Sounds scary where I thought human error. We were loud voices out there advising Mr. Ochi is reported to be present around the rocky area. Oh, Mr. Ochi, what do you want?
盗んだのは誰だ！俺の荷物から食料を盗んだ者は正直に名乗り出ろ！
Oh shit! The sensei is angry! The sensei is angry! This is bad. I didn't understand the exact detail, but apparently someone has stolen food from Mr. Oshi's personal belongings. In the distance, I saw him lifting his rocks that high in the air. His face flushed red with anger. Glancing around the area, I found the others who had left their tents busy studying and carefully avoiding eye contact with our teacher. Kindly the senpai still focused on scraping the burnt grinds of her star. In the corner of her throat, softly murmurs, "What is a joke?" without even raising her head.
誰なんだ！今正直に名乗り出れば処分を考えないでもないぞ。
Come on, Sensei. We are just a student. Why you put a blame on us?
先生の勘違いじゃないんですか？
そんなことはな。
一体何がなくなったというんですか？
それは。
Mr. Ochi stumbled awkward for his foot. From the looks of things, the missing foot had probably been something he hid away instead of contributing to the common stock.
とにかくこの中の誰かが盗んだのは間違いないんだ。
Even now, he shouts more than righteous, authoritative tone of the scolding teacher. But we were in the classroom, his students responded only with irritated scowls. Of course, I also filled my brows at Mr. Ochi's actions. No matter how much he belonged, it was perfectly obvious the company was going to come forward. And in doing so, it was planted the ideas of stealing from others in the minds of all those girls who be honestly indulged in their hunger until now. So if I get hungry, I can just steal food from someone, right? And so I had to keep my mouth shut. Nobody's going to find out anyway. It looks like everyone else is doing it anyway. The only thing Mr. Ochi has accomplished with his trial was sowing this dangerous thought in the back of our minds. When the single cattle went missing for quite a senpai 10 earlier, Kazuki had skillfully considered the incident in order to avoid this exact situation. Now it was all for naught. Without a doubt, this problem will reoccur in the future. In order for people to live as a human being, 3 basic rules need to be respected. 1. Don't steal. 2. Don't destroy. 3. Don't kill. 3 broad principles that define the minimum standard of ethical behavior. And in our little community, one of those 3 has just been irrevocably broken. Steal. They say that lies often end as steal, but the opposite is just as true. When we become thieves, we begin to lie. Deceiving and deceiving in turns, we snatch the food from each other's mouth. Before long, accusation flies, steps become brazen and retaliatory, fist fights break out. In the end, some turn out outright violence, attacking others to destroy their properties, taking what they want by force. All trust is lost. If things were to reach that stage, it would be all over. None of us will survive. We will destroy ourselves over scraps of food. Kazuki anticipated this outcome from the very beginning. After that, I was in the forest with Kazuki getting the end of the plan on the morning event. I lost sight of many. I asked a question on my time. I couldn't help myself.
ねえ和樹、私たちこれからどうなるのかな。
14回目。
え、
あなたがその質問を私にした回数。
いちいち数えてるの？
この質問何回目だっけと聞かれたら答えてあげようと思って。
The Kazuki replied to was the same repetitive phrases as always. What will be. There is no way to know how this will end. She certainly seems fond of it, but to be honest, I always thought it was a bit of a nonsense. It certainly didn't make me feel much better.
越智先生は明日ここを出ていくそうよ。
What?
出ていくってどうして？
数日かけて周辺を調べてなんとか下山できそうな目処が立ったそうよ。
Apparently, having finally decided yesterday to leave and get out, Mr. Ochis has been preparing for his departure this morning. During this process, he noticed the Hindu has gone missing from his rucksack.
先生が隠し持っていたのは合宿の夜にこっそりと楽しんでいた晩酌でビールのつまみにと用意していたミニサラミだったらしいわね。
How do you know?
サラミか。
An Italian sausage, ground pork, seasoned with spice and cured by drying. Preserved food like that would make for ideal restaurants, and as it doesn't go bad that badly easily. You could slice it up thinly and drop it on pizza, and maybe mix it and mix with a big plate of pasta. Just imagine the spicy salty taste left my mouth overflowing drone.
誰が取ったのかな。
それは重要な問題じゃないわ。越智先生としては誰も名乗り出なかったのがショックだったみたいね。もう限界だって泣きそうな顔をしていたわ。
そっか。
From the beginning, Mr. Ochi has said he wasn't really cut out for this job. As for why, apparently he simply had a hard time dealing with women in general. Given that his job involved Corellia girls at the most emotional state or adolescent, he found the experience immensely nerve-wracking at the best of times. And now, of all things, he was living under terrible conditions with a pack of desperate girls, increasingly crushed under the pressure of their excessive expectations. Really? It was hardly surprising he wants to make a break for it as soon as humanly possible.
先生がいなくなったら私たちどうなるんだろう。
こういう言い方は先生に対して甚だ失礼だとは思うけれど体制に影響はないと思うわよ。
Yeah, we don't need a sensei. We just need to run into the forest by ourselves. Which Mr. Ochi was never exactly a powerful president. Even during our normal activities, I always thought of him as a normal cushion between the official authority of the school and the day-to-day management, but also almost entirely handled by our team captain. Still, we have more faith in him, and the vice suggest he was an adult with legal responsibility to us, and as a man, he was better physically equipped to handle certain jobs. Especially, he has been suddenly reassuring in this way. Now he's asleep like into a comfortable defensive role of students. And why wasn't much for stopping our fights? The fact that a teacher was watching and has a significant check on our behavior. If Mr. Ochi were to leave the camp tomorrow, we lost our only real authority figure. Wasn't there a chance of his departure could become the spark that would set off and descend into something uglier?
不安だよ和樹。
Yep. Later, the captain will kill us, all of us. Now that the teacher's not here, I can kill all of you. Give me your meat.
大丈夫よ。もしもの時は私があなたを守ってあげるから。ね。
Nah. He didn't think she was an elder sister calmly or frightening the youngest slimly. Her words were immensely rational, but also inspired something very close to shame. If I had thought I just was another responsibility to Kazuki over the shoulders of nothingness and pathetic weakness, my face crumbled bitterly and I could feel tears filling my eyes.
もしもの時って？
もしもの時はもしもの時。多くは想定外の好ましくない事態に遭遇した状況を指してそう呼びます。
これ以上まだ状況が悪くなるってこと？
Yes.
まあなるでしょうね。でも心配はいらないわ。もしも何かを犠牲にしなければあなたを守れないという状況になったら私は全てを犠牲にしてでもあなたを守るから全然大丈夫。愛してるわ、Amane。
嬉しいけど大丈夫だよ。私自分の身は自分で守るから。
あら本当？実は私も自分のことで精一杯な部分もあってそうしてもらえるとすごく助かるわ。
Kazuki was just affirming my own words, but for some reason it felt like she was abandoning me. All of a sudden there was a dull pain in my chest.
大丈夫よ。Amaneは強い子だから。ね。
うん。
That's right, I can't let myself stay dependent on Kazuki forever. I wanted her words to be true. I want to be strong enough to help her, strong enough to protect her, strong enough to be necessary for her. If I couldn't be strong enough, I had a feeling I'd be weak forever, always hiding behind protection of others, helpless and worthless until the end of my day. Yes! The 9 day! The 9 day, ah? The 9 day in the valley. Oh no, heavy rain. The one of Mr. Oshi, the one of the cats, is unfortunately a rainy one.
先生、どうかお気をつけて。
What? With the exception of the immortal hero sons, everyone gathered in the museum to see our teacher off. Mr. Oshi took me for a heavy rock and his back, but quickly to the borderline down his lesson. If I thought I was looking at a young officer, but to head on for the front lines. As a matter of fact, there had been some really sarcastic joke yesterday about making it one of those Sausage speech belt. Good luck, champion player soldiers used to take war. But no matter how undesirable Mr. Ochi has been as our teacher, everyone quietly recognized that he was now our miserable, very powerful. 10 members of the basketball to fight for Howl will come to a good 990 stitches short. Not to say that we're standing on a complete together, although our teams were less scheduled and more practical. When the rain began to fall this morning, we had to cut apart, flashing back to create a matchship for Joe. This is the virtual necessary already there, especially before we constructed the toilet, so we had a hang of making them by now. The porches offer some protection from the rain while allowing a free use for 4 hands. For a short time, and the less they would keep out the wet, preparing for the temperature from falling to them actually just stay in. In the end, it was a pretty fearlessly thing. And on the perspective level, it was not only this thick irony that effect and irritation that rushes down every time you took a step, but the details that it was since cool grateful thank you.
では行くよ。必ず助けを呼んでくる。それまでなんとか生き延びてくれ。
No, we will see your corpse later, in the middle of the forest. With those brief words, Mr. Ochi turned back and really began to walk out, lingering for a long farewell route had been waste of daylight hours. Once inside the forest, the tree canopy would block out most of the sunlight. We all knew too well how poor his vision would be in this way, which would soon transform the jungle to meet the unfamiliar labyrinth. Of course, not suggest postpone any action until the weather improved, but if we delay on the rain, he felt entirely possible to keep finding an excuse to pull off that first step. Maybe the road would be too hot, or somebody would tell to say before long, sheer inertia would blow us of our comfortable city back. Because he understood that Mr. Ochi had to make a firm decision to live there regardless of the conditions. We watched him marching bravely towards the forest, unable to get unease for our faces. We had to rise and stand back, but we might have to look at our place in the city also for the rest. But unlike the rankings of those doomed soldiers, our anxiety was accompanied by an undercurrent of guilt. We were afraid of our teachers' memory. We were worried about our uncertain future.
先生、大丈夫かな。
There's a... Yeah, there's a soundtrack here. The word speech pointed out of my mouth, so I must say if I really said it, but I can't do it, then I glance over.
まあ正直、あまり期待しない方がいいね。
Sakura's tone of voice was his eye almost detached. The first with his voice, he would be standing at the right side and listening when it could rain.
私たちの食料、半分も持って行ったんですよ。顔出してくれなきゃ困りますよ。
Kinda senpai always stretches vigorously away the bandage on her forehead. He was just not relaxed and even his word.
あれでも一応大学時代はテニス部だったんでしょ。体力はあるんじゃないの。
Next nice to Komori-san, her email at the doll's face, peeping out from the neck of her school uniform.
どうしてテニス部だった人がバスケ部の顧問やってるんでしょう。
At Komori's other side, Sakura was pressing her hands against the stomach wound, bending over slightly to shield from the rain. As the conversation seems to be moving neatly down the line, she tentatively opened her mouth and spoke.
大学のテニス部って要は女の子目当てのナンパな男子が集まる部でしょ。冬はスキー部になったりする感じの。
Apparently amused to hear those words from the normally meek and refined Sakurai-senpai, Kazuki chuckled lightly at her side.
その認識で間違ってないところが悲しいわね。
Her eyes fixed on Mr. Ochi as the figure grew smaller than this. Koide-senpai responded to Kazuki's words with an anxious frown.
本当大丈夫なのかな。
Now that he had set forth, there was nothing much more we could do either. It was in the hands of fate now. Sakura-senpai gave a wide little smile, likely her frownless at playing cards and allowed her to push most of her chorus onto others. And the idea was getting increasingly irrelevant as the leisure time grew.
あとはもう運布天賦に任せるしかないね。分の悪い賭けだけど、賭けってのはその方が面白いよ。
Clearly irritated by Sakura's flippant taunts, Captain Takashi finally broke her silent video. Oh, you going to say some bad shit now? Come, say the word.
遊びじゃないのよ。くだらない冗談を言っている暇があるなら他にやるべきことがいくらでもあるでしょ。
はいはい、ごめんよ。
Sakuma typically indifferent is one her way. Quickly glanced over the moment the captain jumped on her heels and stopped off towards her plan without another word. Having a small sigh at this abrupt departure, Koide gave a little nod of acknowledgement because again they trotted off to follow her partner.
なんかさ、坂下を見てるとこういう状況でも怒鳴り散らすだけの人間がどれだけ惨めかって思い知らされるよね。彼女を見ているとしっかりしなきゃって逆に落ち着いてくるよ。そういう意味ではいい反面教師だ。
Often it sounds simply because they outshout any voices of opposition is the height of foolishness. Over the days we spent here, that relationship has sunk deeply into our very bones. At moments like the anyone gaze would actually descend on Kazuki. They turned into a freshman, a small room no taller than 150 centimeters in the eyes of absolute trust. The third is almost offensive. The third among the would not share the regularly rebellious. That was since they concluded in the characteristic happy-go-lucky style that when Kazuki likes a lot as it. And having essentially entrusted her life to Kazuki and their patient, that would identify her even without the body as just a way of honorific.
言い方はどうあれ、坂下部長の言葉に間違いがないのも事実です。寒暖じみたぶちり合いをしている暇があれば食べ物を探しましょう。
Just don't change the fact that we've given half of our already meal in stockpiles to Mr. Ochis for today. Our meals will all be more grimly austere. Even so, you only take enough food for 2 days, along with 2 liters of sterilized water in plastic bottles. But with 6 fresh estimated calories each, because we have managed to last 4 days at the longest. Although Mr. Ochis has estimated that 3 days of constant progress will bring him to human habitation, we all knew perfectly well that he wouldn't be able to simply stroll straight through that forest. And he instead was probably more familiar with the harsh reality than any of us, so we kept our silence.
ああ、この雨の中森に入るのか。何言ってんですか。どうせ森に入ってもフラフラしてるだけで全然働かないくせに。仕方がないよ、私は貴族だからね。一つお願いがあるんですけどいいですか。なんだい、言ってごらんよ。一度本気で殴らせてください。みんなのために単身森に入った越智先生に代わって先輩を殴ります。
何？
それで君の気が晴れるのならそうするといい。あまり痛くしないでもらえると助かるかな。
だから髪に触らないでください。
Partially sat aside Sakuma's head by his hand, even he stepped off towards the forest alone. Watching a while ago, Sakuma's fair arms stared up onto the sky overhead and Angelic shrugged his shoulders to no one in particular, but soon as she followed without a word. All said that they were a friendly pair.
私らはどうする？
Filled with her rain-wet bandage as she brushed her hair out of her eyes, cunningly side-by-side to address her partner calmly. Staying down in the darkness, they against the chest, completely safe and saying that apologetic tone of voice.
すみません。今日はアー君の具合が悪いみたいで。またかよ。なんかその犬、雨が降るとすぐ体調崩すよね。やっぱあれか？湿度が高いと前髪が決まんなくて超下げなんですけどみたいな感じになるのかね。まさかそれはないと思いますけど。まあいいよ、今日は私が行くからさ、あんたは犬と一緒にテントで待ってな。すみません。
Kaname set off with broad stride, apparently tried to play out her side role as mainly big brother of the household, commonly holding on his back, leaning over the elephant dogs in the before to shield from the elements. Well then, what about us? When I glanced over in Kazuki direction, I was surprised to find Sakurai standing by still loitering quietly by her side. When our eyes met, Sakurai gave me a gentle smile.
桜井先輩はどうされます？
今までの恩返しもありますし、できれば食材探しに私も参加させてもらえればと。
Yes, please join. You go down in the forest, please, by yourself.
それは助かりますけど、大丈夫なんですか？
はい。お腹の怪我ももうだいぶ良くなってきましたし。
That's a lie.
ダメよ。気持ちはわかるしありがたいけれど、今無理をすればまた悪化するわよ。桜井さんはテントに戻って広岡さんについていてあげてください。
つまんない。
食材探しだって別に楽しくはないわ。もともとあなたは体が丈夫ではないのだし、おとなしく私の言うことを聞きなさい。
はーい。
今の何？
Uh-oh, you got a flu.
くしゃみよ。
でも今ペキュって言ったよ。
Heck you.
一見すると欠点が少ないように見える桜井さんだけれど、どうにもくしゃみが変なのよね、この人。
気にしてるのに。
いいからさっさとテントに戻りなさい。この上風邪をひいたりしたらまた私の仕事が増えるじゃないの。
はいはい。
Smelly sweetly, Sakurai patted Kazuki on the head and then immediately walked off towards the tent. That is, the large tent where Hiroka-san was waiting.
桜井先輩、美人だね。
そうね、性格もおとなしいし、本当に欠点の少ない人だわ。もうお腹が出るような水着は着れないと思うけれど。
そっか。
As she watches Sakurai senpai walk away, drifting out, she knew her stomach started to both by betrayal and hint of sadness. Sakurai's parents had probably been planning to bring their daughter to the world of show business sooner or later. What would they think when they saw that wound across her belly? An ugly jaw break that flesh, discharged foods faster than we could clean in this family. Would they be overjoyed their daughter had at least survived or hurt by her misfortune?
私たちも行きましょう。
そうだね。
And I stared down at the misty jungle. I could see the misty shades of human beings wriggling into the trees in search of sustenance. There was covering fog, nothing to guide us, nothing to threaten another hand, crawling desperate for survival. How long will this go on? How long until fortune smile on us? How long we could rest? What will be, will be. There was no way to know how this will end. Well, now we just need to do what we can. None of those words were clear enough to keep my feet moving, but I was beginning to feel that the limits of my endurance might be approaching. It was like kind of a to made her way down the valley. The only thought in my mind was to follow her by now. I just tried to pursue any course of action. Okay, the Sunday is still running. Where's the music? The stupid music, where are you?
また雨だ。もううんざり。雨が降ると途端に体がだるくなる。頭が重い。テントの中にいても雨はどんどん染み込んでくるし、慢性化した湿気が原因なのか、苔だかカビだかの青臭いような匂いがますます濃くなってくる。ここ数日の雨の様子はほとんど梅雨の様相だ。今度の雨は相当にしつこい。当分やみそうもない。テントを叩く雨粒の音でなんとなくそうわかる。梢の隙間を伝って育った大きな雨粒がテントに当たる音は不規則で、ずっと聞いているとイライラしてくる。満たされない空腹もまたイライラの原因だった。もはや口癖のように、ああお腹が空いたと私が口にすれば、最近の和樹は眉を寄せる。そんなこと言われなくても分かっているわと機嫌が悪くなるのだ。それでも私が空腹を訴え続ければ、最後にはうるせえ、寝ちまえと、そんなことを言い出す。
ちょっと、私はそんなことを言った覚えはないわよ。
え？
私は動く必要のない時には眠るのも立派な仕事よと言っただけでしょ。
Oh, finally a stupid song here.
やだな和樹、勝手に私の日記を読まないでよ。
読んでないわよ。あなたが日記を書きながらそれを声に出して勝手に私に聞かせていたんでしょ。
嘘。
自覚なし。重傷ね。気をつけなさい、アマネ。まるで一人でブツブツと文句を言いながら料理をするとんかつ屋の主人みたいで気持ち悪いわよ。
何それ、よくわかんないけど、人の顔を真剣に見つめてキモいとか言わんといてもらえる？へこむわ。
ほら、私が捕まえたカタツムリをあげるから、これでも食べて元気を出しなさい。
Ew, you eat a snail?
もうでんでん虫飽きた。っていうか虫以外のものが食べたいよ。
Now you're being a choosy. What a stupid Amane.
カタツムリは陸外よ。まあ貝は虫じゃないのかと言われると微妙なのだけれど、それよりアマネ。
Because you can point to her cheek with one finger as if to tell I had a grain of slice to the corner of my mouth. After we more coffee, I brought my hand to my head. I could pass out this slime on my cheek. That is to say, a leech.
あ
I got exceptionally tough-minded by this sort of thing. Now the leech was going to get the screen out of me this late in the game. Carefully peeling the creature off my cheek, I had it between my fingers of my nails into his body and rip it apart. This was another lovely side effect of the rain. Leeches had begun to find their way inside our tent. After walking and feeling the blood suck off all my members, went into the first part of my daily routine. First and foremost, I had to peel them off my eyelids. That's the one stitches to my neck. Wrinkle and ankle, the leeches were particularly foundness to this point with the body grown arrows. Other than that, they also go for a place where skin was thin, the back of my knees and elbow, my armpit, my groin. There were even a few that buried between my toes as they tried to make us a cozy little nest. The first few times we shrieked hysterically we were, but after a few days we lost the weight to even more. And either our bodies had developed resistance to healing them, or we just got used to treating the bites, and the tickles of blood for the wound would now stop after only an hour or so. As you can speculate, our growing sodium deficiency might be affecting the salinity of our blood, but there was no way to tell for sure. As the day crazy to evenings without a break in the rain, Kazuki and I head to the lunch day in order to visit Hirokasa and Sakurai Senpai. Outside, I started the usual fire under the primitive stove, made the usual tin, watery boiling and boiled the usual bucket of hot soup. Hot water in the grate in my right hand and the hot water in my left. I made my way to the hospital town. It was important to remember which was in the hand since it was no longer obvious which was the water and which is the ground. Calling it ground was a bit more joke by this point. At a glance, it looked more like a stone soup. Also, since we were missing the bit of rice distributed to Kazuki me, the wounded Sakurai and Hiroka was still eating slightly better than the rest of us.
お湯が沸いたよ。
ありがとう、アマネ。そこの手ぬぐいを熱湯で消毒して広岡さんの体を拭いてあげてくれる？
任せて。
Kazuki did turn around when I entered the tent. She was standing unwinding the yellow stained bandage from Sakurai's stomach and removed the gauze from the wounds to be replaced. We do wash the gauze over and over in boiling water to the point it was beginning to blacken. It made for all the more striking of contrast against the yellow fruit that. A what? Did it get stuck? Oh. When I reached out of the dirty gauze in order to sterilize it for it, I started squirming in the surface. It was banging, trashing into the fat body magically from the way that the depths of the pools that had soaked into that. It almost seems to be consciously trying to crawl back towards Sakurai's stomach. Ew!
こっちはいいから広岡さんを。
It was in the wash cloth in the hour I left it with salt and began unbuttoning Hirokasa's uniform. At first she made quite embarrassed to be seen again, but now she's subbing quietly without even squirming. She might simply have lost the energy necessary to feel shame. Hirokasa's chest has raised dramatically since the first time I wiped her clean. The rib was screwed out deeply against the surface of her skin, and that skin was spotted here and there was a small white flicks. The small white fuzzy little spot could be dust off her hand. At first I thought them to be something like cotton dust from her sleeping bag, but when I asked Kazuki, I learned from the first time the mole can grow on a living human body. Ew! Hirokasa was covered in pale white metal.
ちょっと待ってね。今熱いタオルで拭いてあげるから。
私もう痛い。
What are you saying?
何？なんて？
Hirokasa tried cracked his almost slightly. I lowered my head to her mouth.
私もう死にたい。
大丈夫だよ。ちょっとカビが生えただけじゃん。
Scooping the washcloth out of the hot water with a pair of the chores that I waited for it quietly below scattered and gave me a vicious lesion. Hiroka-san, please kill yourself. I want to see the next day you are dead already.
体中がかゆいの。気が変になりそう。もう嫌。
我慢して。今きれいにしてあげるから。
I threw the moderately hot towel against Hiroka-san's body and began to wear. The more came out cleanly, but underneath there was innumerous angry swollen red wells where fingernails had dug into her flesh.
書いちゃダメって言ったのに。
The more she cried, the more spread the more across the body.
ごめんなさい。どうしても我慢できなくて。
What is scared unrelentingly itches us is absolute torment. No matter how firmly you're told to scratch, you unconsciously crawl your body while asleep. Hiroka-san reflexes have been grown so extreme that we actually tried binding her hand to prevent this. That night she has woken a dire cleanse, screaming. Putting to her body against a restraint, she has scraped her body against the hard ground, crying again and again for help.
ありがとう、スオさん。気持ちいい。
When I wipe about it, she teaches with the reduce at once. She described it as almost blissful sensation. Even so, that comfort would last an hour or two at most. Once wrapped her sleeping bag, she would return to the body began to rise. I was now making the time for me to wipe her clean many times a day.
ごめんね。面倒ばっかりかけて。本当にごめんなさい。
Yeah, no worries, Hiroka-san. Please kill yourself. In the next day, I want to.
から。それまでは。ごめん。
Why you talk so low? I can't hear you at all. Okay, never mind. I will repeat it one more time. Please kill yourself in next episode. Thank you. In the next day.
大丈夫だよ。そんなこと言っちゃダメだよ。体を拭いてあげるぐらいいつだってしてあげるから元気出してよ。
Amane, no point saving the people who can't even survive right now. If anything, it was bitterly sad to know there was nothing more I could do for her, no matter how hard I tried.
スオさん。私。この恩は必ず返すから。
そうして。そのためには絶対に生き残らないとね。
No, she's going to die.
私死んでも絶対にこの恩を忘れないよ。
As she saw tears begin to run, a little strains down Hiroka-san's faces. And I have found something very useful to kill myself. A knife or a twitch. And I...
だからそういうこと言わないの。大丈夫。死なないから。
Stop saying a lie, stupid Amane. You're not going to die. That is the worst lie you ever told to any people who's suffering right now. My favorite tears for Hiroka-san cheek with the taste of my fingers I reflexively brought into my mouth. Hiroka-san's tears were still salty. Why did the music stop? I was slightly envious of that. Let's see. The 11th day in the valley. It was still raining. It had never stopped raining. There was nothing to do but sit down shivering and wait for the weather to clear. Doing nothing all day took the surprise they had been told him that it's alright. After 10 minutes or so, you'll be seized by an anxious impatient need to do something, anything. But it was impossible to stay outside even without being drenched in the downpour. The cold rain would drain your energy with terrifying sickness, and once you got wet, you stay that way. We knew it was dangerous to stay so difficult, but we just didn't have the means to get them dry. The girls would sit in rain while they began to corrode the ink material that made out of the bottom of that. Lying down even with the buffet of the steam air would leave our whole body sopping wet. We had no choice but to sit and wait. In the afternoon, the rain slowly to everybody dissolved. I had just managed to get a cooking fire going when someone heard this sound began to echo across the net. Somebody was singing loudly. It was unmistakably his voice.
ついに行かれたか？
Kalida laughed harshly and ugly controlled an excuse for a smile on her face.
うるせえぞ！いぶき！
I tried to end the mournful grimace induced Judge Kalida said by her draw in Ibuki's direction. What the freak? That storm fell a few short and Ibuki turned to direction to examine. Her face was scarcely white. Her skin dusty looked and thought she had aged 20 years in the last few days. Picking out the muddy snow, Ibuki pressed it to her nose and sniffed furiously. Apparently, Grisaia was a fool. She consequently the sign, continued her song. When the walls grows wet around, those who can't bend simply break. Watching whiskey cat a wall, the ideally out at the rain cloud of fear the sky as if to summon the sun. I read it. I wonder if the regiment might someday to be blessing rather than a curse.
なんなんだろうねあれ。たまにああやっておかしくなるけど、しばらくすると普通に会話できるし、いつものブッキーに戻ってるんだよね。需要不足らしいですよ。いつかは私らもあんな風になるのかね。金田先輩、ここへ来る前ダイエットとかしてました？あにゃ？じゃあ大丈夫じゃないですか。
One Kazuki told me Buki had been repeatedly subjecting herself to severe gimmicky diets over the last few months, leaving her with chronic vitamin deficiency. Since arriving here, that previous condition had apparently worsened the effects of malnutrition on the body, giving rise to impaired brain function.
参っちゃうよね。うちの子守ももうだいぶやばい感じだよ。
Commander still shut in their tent, nursing her dog through a high fever. Apparently, she was feeding every scrap of her rations to the animal. Okay, I believe someone's going to die soon. Please, I want to see the death scene.
あいつの家和菓子屋じゃん。親は二人とも仕事で忙しくてめったに構ってもらえなかったみたいでさ。兄弟もいないあいつには犬が兄弟なんだよね。まあわかるけどさ。
Whereas Candida's photos carefully neutral was the mask was twisted with undisguised lottery. Her true feelings were written on her face. She unambiguously hated that feverish, immobile little dog. It was not of no use to her, and so she wanted it to disappear. It was as simple as that. Yeah, just eat the dog. Dog is a good meat.
みんなどんどん弱ってく。このまま私らみんな死ぬんだ。
Why you guys don't even think to get out of this forest? I don't know why. It's do or die. I understood from the tone of her voice that this was not more of the usual gallows humor. I understood with such painful clarity that I wish she said nothing at all. Glancing up at the sky as I do because to intensify yet again, I slowly picked myself out of my seat of rock. I can't take this. Couldn't we at least catch a break on this way? It was adding insult to injury. Knowing full well that it was ridiculous, I did my best. While the preschool impression that after looking to make the rain stop.
だから私は神様じゃないのよ。
私は神様じゃないよ。
似たようなもんでしょ。
I call Kazuki a witch, well, except for the ones who call her a monster. In that case, a little red magic shouldn't be too much to ask for, right? I mean, I knew it was an idiot, but asking is free. In response, Kazuki closes both eyes and heavily said, I was rolling not heaven, saying, oh, wait a minute, I live more. Look how she spoke to the heavens. To read, oh rain, I command you to be God, and essentially, I command that you saw me to open mouth at the end. I appreciate that she was considerate enough to play along with my nonsense, but if she was going to volunteer, she had at least pretend she was talking it seriously. Nani? But as it turned out, an hour or so after, maybe the rain really did stop, so decided you have to laugh. Kazuki cranked her neck back to either gazing at the cloud with peaceful by.
何でも試してみるものね。
And spoke characteristically impudent the words in their characteristically sickly mouth. Staring at her face from the side, I felt their hairs on the back of my neck stands out there, which the only was simply increasingly plausible. On the other hand, I really care. If she was on some sort of black magician, it'd be nice to have one of us outside right now. If I answer this to speed everyone's safety for the next trip, I wonder what will happen. I seem freeze after all. I look over at Kazuki debating whether I should throw this new challenge to her, but before I could decide, she stared into my eyes and spoke.
全員は無理。そう言ったはずよ。
だから私が質問する前に答えを先に言うのはマナー違反だよ。
あなたは考えていることがすぐに顔に出るから分かりやすいのよね。
It can't be everyone. Oh no! I reached maximum now. Thank you for watching my video. My video is
セー
just
ブ
for
する
fun.
わ。
Don't take cover resistance. It was interesting. It's day 11 now, right? Yeah, day 11.